Hey guys, I want to talk about binge eating because I think it's a very, very big topic, and I do have some knowledge on it because I did struggle with it. I didn't struggle to the extent where you go out and buy yourself huge amounts of foods to then binge. My binges were always like really just me being out of control and eating even though I didn't want to. And I can just tell you what helped me and how long I've been struggling with it until I finally found like a way to help it. So it started, I think, maybe at 15. Yeah, I think around 15, because what happened was that I was really insecure about my hips, which is so stupid. I told you before, like now it's really in to have big hips and like this curvy body. But when I was 14, it was still like Kim K was like maybe on the verge, but it was still not a trend. Like within teenagers, I think the skinny look was very much in. So then I was super insecure, as I said, and I thought the only way to not gain weight or to lose weight was by stop eating chocolate. I didn't think that any other food was like making me gain weight or whatever. I thought it was solely because of chocolate, because my family is very focused on healthy food, and especially my mom's side, and they really don't like eating a lot of. I mean, they do love chocolate, but they always told me like, oh, make sure to not eat this and that, like that's a calorie bomb, blah blah blah. Like don't drink soda, don't do this, don't, yeah. You can imagine. It's not to the extreme because they would still allow themselves to eat it, but they still have a big focus on it. And now I'm pretty good at just not talking about it, and whenever someone talks about it, I'm just like, and then I change the topic. But back then, obviously, I was super insecure, so I thought my way to lose weight or to just make my hips smaller, which is not possible because it's just my bone, was by stopping to eat chocolate. So I started to eat everything except for chocolate when I came home. So I would come home, I would be very hungry, and then I would start eating stuff in the kitchen, full on lentil rice mixes, like pasta, everything that I found. And then at the end, I would still eat chocolate because the whole time in my head was like, I want chocolate. But then I told myself like, I cannot have it. So then I would eat everything because I still wanted to eat something. It would not satisfy me, and at the end I ate chocolate, And I always felt super sick because I was so full. So it's kind of like extreme hunger, but worse because you feel really out of control. You don't want it. Yeah, so binging is really horrible. This is how it started, and then when I developed my ED, I don't know why at the beginning these kind of like binges they stopped, and I still don't really understand why. I think it was because I started to actually eat whatever I craved. I didn't, for example, for a long time I tried to eat very vegan and low fat, and I think this just made me want to eat it even more. So I fell out of control a lot, and then at some point I started to just eat balanced stuff and like blah blah blah. But then I lost a lot of weight, and then I lost even, like, I wanted to lose even more, and then I fell into an ED, anorexia, whatever it was. And then at some point binges started again because I ate very little, obviously. I still ate kind of like a normal amount, but because I'm a person who eats a lot of food, it was way too little. So whenever I was alone, I would eat a lot to make up for it. I would feel horrible because I didn't want to, like my ED was so against it. But I think in retrospective, I'm so glad it happened, because otherwise I would have been really, really unhealthy. And that way I could still be more or less healthy because I had these little binges that kept me full of energy, but I was still too skinny. Like I lost my period, so it was not all good. So yeah, I struggle with binging a lot, as I said, since many years. And then in recovery, extreme hunger is kind of like binging, except that you do want to allow it. Like the goal is to allow it because you know you need it, but it still feels out of control because you just keep eating and you're like, what the hell? What is this? This is not normal. Like I'm the only person who would do that. That's a huge amount of food. Everyone is judging me. So what I did to help it, I don't know if it's a good thing, but at the beginning, I would just hide how much I ate because I knew my family wouldn't understand. So I hid it. And then I lived alone anyway, so it was very easy to just eat whatever I wanted and people not really knowing about it. And then over time it became less and less because that's what happens in recovery. If you actually allow it, sorry, I was reading a message. If you actually allow it, then at some point you will want less. And so what are my tips? I remember I was watching this binge eating girl on TikTok, and her tips to her fellow followers was to, I don't even know, what was her tip? Like to smell her food or to get satisfied. And I was like, and then I looked through her page. She was working out insanely, like really a lot. She was very, very lean. It didn't even look healthy. And then she was wondering why she binges. Girl, you're just not fat enough. A lot of the times, very skinny people are binge eating if they restrict themselves too much. But of course, there's a lot of people from all weight ranges. There's a lot of very, very big people. But everyone has in common that they do restrict in some way. And maybe you're like, no, but I eat a lot. Restriction is not only about what you actually restrict. It's about restricting mentally. So even if you are just thinking like, oh, I shouldn't eat that, that's gonna make you binge. Like you really, really need to change your mindset and be really all about I am allowed to eat everything and all of the amounts and whatever. Like you really, really need to overcome that mindset of restriction. Otherwise, you won't stop binging. You will go to your food and be like, I deserve this. Oh, this is gonna taste so delicious. I don't have to worry about what it is. It should feel like so free to eat whatever you want. There should not be a connotation of like, oh, how healthy is it? Should I balance this out with protein? No. That's also one problem I had for a long time. Even through recovery, I ate everything in a lot of amounts. And then sometimes I would still be like, but this is lacking protein, which is fine. But I'm telling you, usually you balance it out anyway. And your body will tell you what you crave. So you won't have to take control. At some point you will naturally start to crave some fresh fruit or veggies. Like it's just I think nature balances out on its own. So yeah. Then what else do we have? Yeah, that was kind of like about binge eating. That literally the only way of letting go of binge eating is by letting go of restriction. Oh, I forgot finishing the story of that TikTok girl. So what I commented was like, because she was posting this video about donuts, like how she cannot eat, I don't know, it was a few donuts. It was quite a lot, and I was like, yeah, exactly. And she was telling about how I don't know. I think in the end I just commented something like, maybe you should just eat those donuts and not restrict yourself. Oh my god. These people got so mad. They started insulting me. They started telling me I should not never say things like that. Like that would just be so unhealthy and blah blah blah. And I don't know anything about binging anyway. Really, they were getting crazy at me. And I do understand why they were getting crazy, but still, then I started to explain why I thought that. I was even linking some articles in the internet that letting go of restriction is a way out of binge eating. And no one believed me. Everyone was so against me. At some point, I deleted my comment so that I wouldn't have to deal with all of those people. But I stand by my opinion because I am so sure it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of courage to let go of restriction, because in most cases it will make you gain more weight. And if you're already maybe overweight, it will be extremely hard to gain even more weight, I know. But still, I really do think it's the only way to let go of binge eating, because binges are caused by restriction. And also make sure to not consume zero products. I think it's really a stupid thing. Why would you pay for something that doesn't even give you energy? My opinion, I know. I mean, of course, if you're diabetic, yes. But otherwise, why are you scared of sugar? Don't be scared. Start blending out all of those documentaries. I know there are so many, but I'm telling you, I'm eating a lot of sugar and I'm very good. I'm very healthy. So please, no, don't worry about it. Just let go of all of those norms and thoughts and restrictions, and start eating whatever you want, however much and whenever you want. Like, don't restrict any time of the day either. Doesn't serve you. I mean, some people just aren't hungry in the morning, that's fine. But I don't know, like, if you just eat, and if you're not hungry in the morning, just eat anyway for recovery, because in recovery you need to eat all day. No excuses. I'm talking about like a few years after recovery. Maybe if you really get sick from food in the morning, then just don't eat. But usually, I'm pretty sure it's something you can get used to. And people say like, oh, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. But oftentimes those people that wake up, even my grandma, she was talking to me about it. She was like, you know, when I was working, nobody there ate breakfast except for me. And everyone was so tired in the morning, and I came in, I was just full of energy. I was set for the day with my breakfast and coffee in the morning. And she just found it so interesting that no one would take the time to eat breakfast and drink a coffee, or maybe drink coffee at work, except for her, even though like it obviously had a good effect. So yeah, in the end, I'm rambling. But this is what I have to say about binge eating, because I did struggle with it a lot, even though I never talk about it. I think it's a big part of many EDs. And yeah, I definitely understand why binging is such a huge topic. It consumed a lot of my life, but now it never happens to me. Whenever I am hungry or whenever I am craving, I'm really... For example, a lot of the times when I come home, I'm still hungry, or I still feel like I need some more energy. So then I sit down and I lay on my bed and I purposefully take out chocolate, and I'm like, now I'm gonna enjoy chocolate. And it's not about like, I'm only gonna allow myself one. No, I'm like, if I eat the whole package, it's fine. It's like I'm free to do whatever, because my body tells me how much I need. So that's the whole damn difference, and I never overdo it. I never feel out of control because I simply allow it. I don't restrict myself. Yeah. Okay, I wish you a great week. Bye bye guys.